we've spoken to you about faith yesterday. One of the things about faith to the logical mind, when you think about it with your earthly understanding, with your physical understanding, it seems very insecure to move into a life of faith, because things around you make no sense, and yet you believe things are going to get better. It makes no sense. But when you look into people of God and you look into their life, the way they've lived, we will understand that though it makes no sense in the physical realm, but through the eyes of God, it's fully possible. It is possible. The impossible is possible. Look, when we look into the life of Abraham in Hebrews 11 verse 8, it says, by faith Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to the place which he would receive as an inheritance, and he went out not knowing where he was going. Not knowing where he was going. He did not know where God would be taking him, but he just obeyed. He just moved out. I'm sure whenever you plan a trip out, you know where you are going, right? If you've ever moved out of your house not knowing what's your destination, the people of the world would call you mad. And if you look into what Abraham did, to the worldly eyes, it is mad, it's crazy. But we see God approved of it. To the worldly eyes, it was insecurity, but through the eyes of God, he was secure, knowing that God would bring it to pass. It says, not knowing where he was going, he moved out of his father's house. Now, in his father's house, there was comfort. Everything was perfect. Everything was going well. He had his food, he had his shelter, he had clothing. I believe also they had their own business. Everything was perfect for Abraham. But God told him to move on. Why? Because God had a plan. God had a purpose. God had a great future for the life of Abraham. And all Abraham had to do was move out from his worldly security and move into a position where through the eyes of the world it seemed insecure, but he was in obedience to God. I want to tell you, when you are living a life of faith, it may make no sense to you. It may make no sense to the world. It may make no sense to your physical or your logical understanding. But if you obey God, you will begin to see how God will fulfill his greater purpose in your life. Today we talk about Abraham. Today we look at the great generations of Abraham, the great people that have come through the line of Abraham. It all came about because this one man was willing to give up the securities of the world, to move into a life of faith, to move into a life of insecurity in the world, but security in God. When you talk about living a life of faith, a person of faith is found secure in God. A person of faith is secure in God, knowing very well that it is God who looks after him. It is God who directs. It is God who fulfills. It is God who preserves. Today I want to encourage you who's watching. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. It may make no sense to your logical mind, but trust God and he will take you through and you will see greatness in your life. God bless you.